Next on Worcester News Tonight, new details outline a series of failures leading to the death of a 2-year-old foster child in Auburn. And a proud day for a Worcester family of police officers. A promotion ceremony takes place at City Hall. Good evening, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. We begin tonight with state police working a tractor-trailer rollover on Interstate 290 west in Auburn. The truck and a car ended up rolling off the highway into a wooded area. Here's the scene just after 6 o'clock this evening near the Hope Ave exit. State police report the driver of the tractor-trailer received minor injuries. The driver of the car was not hurt. Troopers also posted a picture on Facebook showing a puppy who was also on board the truck. The pup was unharmed. Troopers were able to keep the dog safe in a cruiser after the accident. One lane of the highway was closed due to the accident, slowing down traffic during the evening commute. Crews were expected to be on scene for a while this evening, removing the vehicles. Well, a big day for Worcester Police Department, holding a promotion ceremony at City Hall for 5 officers. 2 sergeants were promoted to lieutenant, while 3 officers were promoted to sergeant. Today was the largest police department promotion ceremony since back in 2013, and one of the officers is part of a family with some serious ties to the department.
Very proud man.
Retired police officer John Dowd Sr. pins his son Daniel, who was one of 5 police officers promoted.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Now, Lieutenant Daniel says he was thrilled to share today with his dad.
A dream come true, I think it would be fair to say.
The Dowds are a familiar name in the police force.
My father was a special police officer at the dances and all, and I met a lot of policemen there, and I really liked it, and I said that's what I wanted to do.
Daniel says his father had a similar impact on his decision to join the department.
Every kind of influence in the world. I never considered a different job.
One of 8 brothers, he isn't alone.
Never encouraged my boys to become policemen because I felt that they should do what they want to do. And 6 out of 8 have become policemen, and 8 out of 8 have been involved in law enforcement.
They're all dedicated public servants to the city of Worcester, and they really care.
And today's ceremony might not be the last one we see that involves a Dowd.
The other brothers are thinking about taking the exam now.
An impressive family. Well, more fallout for the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families. Thursday, Governor Charlie Baker announced a series of failures by the agency which led to the death of a 2-year-old Auburn girl. Alicia Palumbo has the details.
A DCF report released Thursday regarding the death of 2-year-old Evelina Conway and the near death of a 22-month-old girl named Samara, who was found unresponsive in the same Auburn, Massachusetts foster home in August, says medical findings suggest that the children suffered heat stroke, indicating they had prolonged exposure to a high-temperature environment. The report says the UMass doctor's findings include a bruising pattern that may have resulted from child struggling against car seat restraints, though pattern of injury not definitive.
In this case, the reports made clear that there were many instances of blatant lack of oversight by DCF staff.
The report confirms a DCF worker saw Samara with a rash on her body 3 days before both girls were found unresponsive, but Commissioner Spears said DCF response to that was deemed, quote, adequate. And on 2 occasions, including a 51A filed in March, caseworkers were notified the foster mother, Kim Malpass, may have had her boyfriend, A.J. Mallet, a convicted felon, living in the home. Malpass was questioned, but the claims were never fully investigated.
The failure to recognize and report certain issues with this foster home and parent is unacceptable.
Since the investigation began, a line social worker and a supervisor assigned to this case have been reassigned.
They've been assigned to administrative duties, no casework responsibilities, in order for us to go through the deliberative and fair process of show cause hearings.
Officials say Samara, who was in critical condition, now remains in stable condition at a long-term care facility. If you'd like to read the entire DCF report, you can click on our NECN News app. In Boston, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
Both the Worcester District Attorney and Auburn's police chief say they have not seen an official autopsy report. Auburn Chief Andrew Slukas says the investigation could move forward once the official cause of death comes back.
Very tragic case. It didn't have to happen. It could have been prevented, but unfortunately it was not. There were some issues that should have been addressed that were not. Once the autopsy results have been given to the district attorney's office. The district attorney will review those, and he will make a determination regarding what, if any, charges are going to be filed in this case.
Neighbors of the foster mother, Kimberly Malpass, tell us she has moved from the home where Evelina Conway was found unresponsive. Again, a second foster child was also hospitalized. She is now in a rehab facility. A memorial outside the Auburn home is no longer there. The second victim of a hit-and-run accident on Lincoln Street in Worcester has died. 46-year-old George Burdick, who had been on life support since Saturday's crash, passed away Tuesday. George and his sister Gina were removing groceries from a vehicle when they were hit by an alleged drunk driver. Gina was pronounced dead a short time later. The driver of the car, Daniel Depew, was arraigned on a number of charges Monday. Additional charges in George's death are expected. Protecting students from violence and cyberbullying. It was part of the focus at a Safe Schools Summit in Worcester Thursday. Our Andy Madison spoke with educators today, and he has more.
They are situations all school districts prepare for.
It could have been much worse. We learned a lot of lessons from that.
Superintendent Marilyn Tenza dealt with one last month when a bullet was found in a bathroom at North Brookfield High School. The threat of school violence is a large part of school safety.
It suddenly becomes a long-term suspension.
And one of the many topics discussed at today's Safe Schools Summit in Worcester.
We have to be prepared for them. We have to actually know what to do, where to go for help, what resources are there in order to handle these and to prevent them.
School violence has increased to some degree, but so has in community violence. And so collectively as a community, law enforcement, human service agencies, the Worcester Public Schools are trying to deal with more effective means and ways on how we can combat violence in our schools.
Last year, Worcester schools had several incidents, some involving weapons on or near school grounds. The district attorney says social media has become a resource for law enforcement, but also a platform for cyberbullying.
All the kids know immediately because of social media, and it just heightens the problems that we have.
In addition to social media, another challenge administrators face is changes to how they can discipline students.
There is no more zero tolerance. We always have to look at all the circumstances surrounding expulsion and make sure that we've given everybody their rights.
Educators and officers coming together to try and keep students safe in the classroom. Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
A Worcester teen already charged in a city shooting is arraigned in connection to another incident. The district attorney's office confirms Devontae Barnes is now charged in a shooting on Plantation Street in March. Barnes was first arrested for allegedly leaving a handgun near Burncoat High School. He was later charged in connection to a shooting on Randolph Road in April. Today's charges include 2 counts of assault with intent to murder. Barnes pleaded not guilty. He's being held without bail. A week after Pope Francis's address to Congress, a panel at the College of the Holy Cross discussed the pontiff's message to the American people. The talk tonight centered around the Pope's focus on social issues, his use of his religious platform to address issues like climate change, marriage, and families. The panel included professors from the college, a student, and a college president, Philip Burrows, who attended the Pope's address to Congress last week.
Usually we say, well, religion is here and politics are here. And I think one of the things he's calling us all as religious people to say we live in this context, we live in this world where the suffering and inequality is staggering.
Frankly, the Pope himself was constantly encouraging dialogue on human and ethical issues and not specific political strategies. And I must say, I found it a little sad that the politicians couldn't react simply as concerned human beings and citizens rather than as politicians with distinct agendas.
Columnist and radio host Marjorie Egan moderated the panel. It was held at the college's library. A celebration tonight for a program helping low-income students get into college, graduate, and land a good job as well. Hundreds were in attendance tonight at Mechanics Hall in Worcester. We first introduced you to the organization's Bottom Line last month. Tonight, they honored Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito and National Grid President Marcy Reed for their support. Bottom Line works with students, many of whom are the first in their families to attend college. They assist in college admissions, the financial process, and help students land internships leading to jobs after graduation. The organization has helped thousands of low-income students stay in college and complete their degrees. Residents of Uxbridge may notice the town's firefighters sporting a different look this month. They're wearing pink along with their traditional uniforms, and it's all for a good cause. Our Olivia Lemon explains.
Never wore it. You would never catch me in pink before, but now it means something.
For Melissa Blodgett, the color pink is now a symbol of strength.
January of 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Went through chemo. They shrunk the lump down and then did a mastectomy in July of 2012.
The Uxbridge fire captain says she's been cancer-free for 3 years, but it's still something she thinks about every day. Firefighter Andrew Morris says he came up with the idea for the department to wear pink uniforms this month in recognition of breast cancer awareness.
I'm just glad that everybody was on board, that no one shot it down.
That was kind of a no-brainer decision, the easiest decision I've had since being chief. To let that happen.
Chief Bill Kessler says his firefighters support each other, and raising awareness is another way to serve their community.
It's better to be, err on the side of caution, because I always say you got to be your own advocate. You got to, no one else can do it for you, but you got to make that step.
If you can diagnose something earlier, you can go through less treatment to get back to being healthy again. So screenings are very important.
Dr. Diane Lockhart says breast cancer is the most common form of cancer women experience in the United States. Lockhart says self-breast checks and yearly mammograms after the age of 40 are the best ways to protect yourself.
Get checked, definitely get checked. And if there is something, just fight and meet it head on.